Hello everybody, it's Geekopolis here. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. And let's get into the video. Alright guys, so I have been thinking about, well, what should have been Star Wars, the sequel trilogy. The reason I'm going to be doing these videos, I'm going to be doing a series, actually, about this, where I will take two different styles. I will do an A and a B for each one of these, or one of the three movies, and I will keep them on track. For instance, episode 7A will go with episode 8A, and so on and so forth. So this should be around, obviously, 6 videos. A, B, A, B, A, B. The reason I'm doing this is because there's two paths that I believe that it could have went down, and both I think deserve some discussion. So the first path is the more nostalgic path, and that's the one that I'll be discussing now. And the B path would have been a more original story. And that one would take place far in the future, and it would be its own story. Where A is, well, when I say similar, I mean it involves people from the original trilogy. Where B would be, again, far in the future, and it really wouldn't have too much to do with them directly. And I mean, it'll have like loose ties, like they could be like related to the characters, but like far down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like Luke's great grandchildren or something like that, or Leia's or whatever. So that's gonna be B, and I'll probably do that sometime soon. But I just want to get this out the way and really see what the response to this video is, because if it does well, I'm obviously going to keep doing more videos like this where I take other franchises where I feel have failed, but I do want to do this because Star Wars is something I was at least passionate about. But I've rambled on enough, let's get on to the actual video. What Episode 7 should have been Part A? Okay, first of all, what should have happened was Luke should have been in the movie from the very beginning. We should have had a very touching moment where you get all the characters back together. That should have been in Act 1. For instance, you start the story off with Luke at a Jedi Academy, okay? And I'm not so against one of the children of Leia, Luke, and Han, all of their families, one of the children that they have going to the dark side. What I believe should have happened was, first of all, Luke should have gotten married, because he knows why the Jedi failed, and that's because they were so rigid in their the dogma of the Jedi Code that they had to adhere to it absolutely. They couldn't, show emotion or love or fear or anything because they were afraid of the dark side. Where now Luke understands that, no, you need things like that to have balance. So you just can't have too much of it. So he should have learned that, and instead of making the mistake that his father did, where he couldn't express the love he had for people, he should have been able to, and that's how he should have got married, and he should have started a new Jedi school with the principles of balance and using parts of the dark side, but not conforming to it. Like a different type of Jedi, a new Jedi, a better Jedi. And that's what Luke should have done, because he was the hero, and he is a very optimistic guy. He was a very caring guy and a brave guy, and that's what his character was. He went from the farm boy that was nothing, he was kind of whiny, to the hero of the galaxy that would never even think about betraying his friends, let alone going into hiding for fucking 30 years for no goddamn a retarded reason. I don't want to talk about those movies. It's fine. Let's move on. So he should have been a Jedi instructor, a master of his own academy, and he should have his own children. I think he should have had 2, and I think Leia and Han should have had 3. And I'm okay with Leia and Han, one of their children turning bad. And maybe make one of Luke's and one of Leia's. Like they leave together, and it would be the family versus each other. Because let's be honest, why do we go to see Star Wars movies? It's the Skywalkers. That's what it is. We go to see the Skywalkers. We want to know their story. We are invested in them, especially Luke. I mean, I like the prequels, but a lot of people don't, and that's fine. And there's, I especially when I say this, I am very much invested in the Skywalker saga, from Anakin to Luke, and I was hoping there would be more, but no, they're all dead now. I guess Ben Solo technically he's a Skywalker too, but he's gonna die in the next movie probably anyways. Oh god, they're gonna do some fucking Reylo shit, aren't they? Kill me. No, but there's really no reason to continue this. So that was, I think, a mistake, and not making it focused on the Skywalkers was a mistake. So here's what you should have done: you should have took those 2 Skywalker descendants and made them rogues. Like they could have been like the eldest of the Leia and Han and Luke and whoever he may have married's children, and they should have went off. And the younger ones would have had to be trained by Luke to try to defeat them, because Luke knows he can't defeat them by himself because he's gotten older, but he wants to show them, or he wants to teach them to become Master Jedis as well, to try and stop this threat. And then they would do their training, and you could actually see them grow as characters, be conflicted to have to fight their older siblings and their cousins. Not just give them the best Force powers ever because you can. Then you could do like they did in, there's no reason you can't call back nostalgic moments. Remember in the first one where Obi-Wan was killed by Vader, but he became a Force ghost. You can do something very similar where Luke, for some reason, whatever it may be, would have to go and fight those 2 by himself, and he ends up getting killed. And that's how he becomes a Force ghost. And then Leia would start helping them train with the Force, and you can show like flashbacks of Luke training her because she is Force sensitive too. So if you want to have like an empowering moment with an actual strong female character, that would be the way to do it. Give her an actual reason to be as powerful as she is, and she's beloved as it is beforehand. You don't need to create her. She's already there. She's already a great character. You don't need to do anything. So, just build on it. And you would take these the younger Skywalker siblings or cousins, and you'd have this really powerful moment where not only their master, but their father, their uncle was killed by their own children. By their niece or nephew. It could be powerful, and that could shape them, and they can go from being very idealistic to being very realistic, and realizing that they need to do what they have to do. You don't need these grand, over galaxy spanning sub conflicts. You can make a good Star Wars story just on the Skywalkers alone. If you want to throw that stuff in there, then I recommend you could do it as in perhaps the reason that the now Sith Skywalker are such a danger is they're riling up old factions and old hostilities. And you know what? You could make them work with the Hutts, and the Hutts are starting to try and expand their empire. And you can add some bounty hunters. There's a lot you could have done. You know what I'm saying? And I actually might write a rough script about what the story should be, and just a spitball, just to have the idea out there of what could have been, because I think that story could have made a much better film and continuation of the legacy of the Skywalkers. It would have at least been respectful to the characters and all their trials and tribulations. Their whole journey in the new canon now feels like it was for nothing. Because when I go back and I watch the older movies, 4, 5, and 6, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, great, you won, but it doesn't fucking matter. Because 30 years from now, the galaxy's just in shit anyways. It cheapens it. It makes what happened with the other movies irrelevant. It's like, okay, you win, and then it goes back to being exactly the same. And, I'm just gonna get back on track, though, because I'm pretty much done discussing what Episode 7 should have been, nostalgic past, and really, have one of the children be not Force sensitive. And that's where Han Solo can train him with, a blaster or something, make him kind of like a bounty hunter. But for the good guys. Maybe throw some, maybe he finds, some Mandalorian armor, and he can help them out. Maybe he's really good at piloting. There's a lot you could have done there, Make it interesting. Make you have fun with it. It's a Star Wars movie. You're supposed to have fun with it. It's supposed to take itself seriously. You're not supposed to be joking every 5 fucking seconds and making stupid ass, humor for, I don't know, first graders. Oh, God. Every time I think about the new movies, it frustrates me because they totally miss the point of what Star Wars is. And what I said the very first moment, way back when Force Awakens came out? The very first thing that I said when I left the movie theaters was, this felt like a movie that was trying to be Star Wars, but wasn't Star Wars. And that's why, when I hear people saying, "Oh, it's a really good Star Wars movie. It's my favorite Star Wars movie," I'm like, I'm sorry. What? I don't even understand how you can consider it a Star Wars movie. It felt like it was trying to be, but it just felt like a B-list movie by comparison to the other movies. I mean, visually it looked fine. It looked good and all fancy, with new technology, but it didn't feel like it didn't have a soul. It felt like it was just like puppeteering a corpse. But that's just my opinion on the newer movies, and that one I could have sort of forgive-ish, with an absolute monumental amount of just animosity towards the movie, but can look past it while I grit my teeth and clench my fist. But The Last Jedi, no, that went, it's too much. I couldn't even fathom how you make a movie so disrespectful and so absolutely atrocious. I don't understand how you can make a movie that abhorrent. I don't. I don't. It should have been from the beginning, the focus on Luke and where he went, and you should have made them have children, and that should have been the conflict. You can go on this line of, as long as there's the Skywalkers, there's always going to be some type of conflict. But just make more of them. Make them an actual threat. And again, the reason I say two siblings and cousins and or whatever combination it would be, is because that harkens back, to the old Sith, the rule of two. You know what I'm saying? There could have been so much you could have done. So much with that. You could have had all the nostalgia in the world with the reunion of the three, on set, on camera, on film, whatever. And it could have been very emotional moments. They could have made them where they haven't seen each other in years, or there's so much, again, you could have done, but what we got was honestly literally the most disrespectful interpretation and continuation of the Star Wars saga. And it's sad. It really is. Again, I may write an actual draft for that one and for all of these, just so I can, show you guys what it would have looked like, or what it could have looked like if somebody with a decent level of competence would have actually sat down, looked at the history, looked at the lore, and understood what the world was actually trying to say, and what George Lucas was actually going for when he made Star Wars, instead of just, I thought it would be funny. I just did this because I wanted it. In case you're wondering, that's Rian Johnson. Fucking seriously. Anyways, that is Nostalgic Path, or Part A of what Episode 7 could have been. I will be doing a further down the line path relatively soon, Path B on Episode 7, and so on and so forth with 8A, 8B. But hopefully you like that idea. I'm curious what anybody thinks. I would like to get some feedback and maybe some advice would work too. But that being said, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Geekopolis out.